doubt arises for any reason, and then till you revisit this list of verses and try to explain them even one other way, plain, black and white, just bone-crunching strong. And there are many more scriptures than the ones I'm going to list to you. I just ran out of time. I don't want to take too long to just read them all. All I was going to do is just give you the passage. So next week I'm going to give you that, and it'll be encouraging to you. Every time you just maybe find the ground moving under your feet a little, wow, this is all so new, so different. Mr. Armstrong never taught this. Do what, frankly, I do. Go back to these verses and try to explain them, not just away. To reject them means you're simply not a Christian. You don't believe the Bible's God's Word. Now let me conclude with one final thought, and then we just have so much more exciting material to cover. But to those who would reject all of this now, you'd be like worldly Christians. Worldly Christians believe in the return of Christ, but have no idea all the events that precede it. They don't know. You'd actually be worse than Protestants. And I want you to understand this, brethren. You'd be worse than worldly Christians. You'd be like them unless you'd be worse. And that's the way to look at it. They generally believe Christ is going to come back, but have no idea how prophecy fits together because there's so many soothsayers out there telling them false scenarios. If you're shown all of this, Protestants never have been. And all of you brethren around the world, you hear all of these things, you see all these plain scriptures and questions being answered, and you reject them. At best, you're a worldly Protestant. You sort of believe Christ is coming, but you just don't know how it's going to happen, and you go back into a place of great questions and no answers. The difference is, that's why I ask you, you think long and hard around the world before you leave or before you're unfaithful in any part of your life. If you leave, you know what's going to come on the world. But if you have the truth and you let it go, I don't hear people who are leaving. I hear everybody is electrified. If you touch them, everybody gets shocked. It's wonderful. Everybody's on fire in the right way. But if you leave, you're saying, I don't know how it all works out. I just sort of generally believe in the return of Christ. Except you heard and Protestants didn't. You rejected and they never had that chance, you see.